And for us it is really very important because we understand how emotional it is, and those people who will be at that performance, the audience will feel those emotions that, as I believe, should be felt not only by the people who were at Azovstal, but also those people who have heard about that, who have seen that. And I believe that for us all, it will be a way forward to better understanding, to better coverage of that event. All of us should remember the fallen heroes, and we should also support IDPs who come to our city. And when the representatives of the project referred to us, we responded immediately, and we have done everything possible to organize this performance, for it to have a comfortable venue for organizers and for the audience. That's why we have selected the Ukrainian theater. This will be a one-night performance in Odesa, and I believe that it should be really only one night. And we understand that in Odesa it will be different. A lot of volunteers, a lot of people who every time decide to support should be there, should see that performance. They should be like a single engine leading us to our victory. And we should also remember about those defenders of Mariupol who are still in the Russian capture.
В цій залі присутні ті, хто захищали Азовсталь. В цій залі присутні ті, хто проривалися до них крізь пекло. Вони привозили провізію, вони забирали поранених, забирали, на жаль, загиблих. І ми щиро дякуємо вам за те, що ви знайшли час, за те, що ви знайшли сили бути тут разом із нами. Зараз я прошу вас згадати хвилиною мовчання кожного і кожну, хто віддав своє життя за Україну. Людина, що брала участь у боях за Маріуполь, пройшов полон також, і він, на щастя, сьогодні разом із нами. Це Каліберда Сергій Володимирович.
Ми до останнього моменту будемо вірити і пам'ятати, і боротись за те, щоб наші побратими вернулися з полону. Весь наш гарнізон. Дякую.
В Маріуполі загинуло майже 90 тисяч людей. Це офіційно. Неофіційну цифру, напевно, ніхто ніколи не підрахує. Але вбиті – це не тільки ті, хто закопаний в землю і нічого не зможе вже розказати. Це також їхні родичі, близькі, які фізично живі, але їхні душі висять на волосинці. І фактично вже мертві від горя. Як прибрати паралізуючі образи смерті з їхньої свідомості? Хто дасть мені відповідь?
Стефанія, мамо, мамо, Стефанія.
І тобі навіть говорити нічого не треба, він сам усе бачить. Світ бачить нас. Поранених, голодних, брудних, безсилих. Але живих.
Царство віки віків амінь. Отче наш сущий на небесах, да святиться ім'я Твоє. Да буде воля Твоя, да прийде царство Твоє, як на небесі.
Десятки тисяч хвилин ми стягували на себе усі можливі ресурси окупантів. Кожну секунду ми протистояли цьому злу. І станьте нашими голосами, бо кожен, хто має сміливість називати чорне чорним, а біле білим, ви маєте говорити
Голосом мужності,
Гідності.
незламності,
Віри.
надії.
Любові.
і свободи.
Сьогодні наші голоси звучать в унісон.
Не дайте зникнути сталевим захисникам України.
Поверніть світові тих, хто дійсно живе.
And now I would like to give floor to Oleksandra Bashkatova, the manager of the NGO Azovstal. Good afternoon, everyone. Our NGO helps the defendants of Mariupol and their families, and one of the important area of our work is advocacy. We want, for us it is important not to make people forget this heroic deed of the defenders of Mariupol. And on the 16th of November, this will be the date when a year and a half ago, first defenders left Azovstal. That was on the 16th of May. But we know that they left the suburbs of Mariupol and other areas, and for around a year and a half, around 1,500 Ukrainian defenders have been in captivity. And we see some of the people returning, and we get information from the relatives and from the families of the defenders, because they don't know where their defenders are. This is the question of life and death. We support such projects as Azovstal Voices, and this is yet another attempt through art remind Ukrainians and international communities about the fact that the defenders are still in captivity. They are heroes because they were able to protect Mariupol and Azovstal, despite the fact that the enemy was several numbers more, and it was very important for the nearby regions to get ready to possible further invasion. It is very important for us to keep reminding about Mariupol defenders. This project is the part of the Still Front of Renata Akhmetova. We have several support programs. The first one is dedicated to healthcare services, and we understand that those defenders who return from the captivity are wounded and injured. They have disabilities, so we do everything possible to provide examination and rehabilitation and prostheses for our defenders. We also provide insurance services for the family. This is the part of the healthcare program. We have another program, Future. This is for our veterans, for them to be able to adapt back to the civil life. Most of them want to continue their service. They want to get to the front line, but it is impossible because of their health condition. We have another program which is called Recovery. This is for physical recovery through sports. The program of the Comeback, where we provide digital boxes with equipment for former people from the captivity were able to keep in touch with their relatives. There is the security program, social security program. We support them in getting back their documents. There is one more program which is called Family, where we support families of the of the families and defenders. We help them with the mental health, and so we provide mental rehabilitation in the west of Ukraine. We have insurance programs. We have the programs for housing, where we provide certificates for those people who have been displaced from the occupied territories. And the last program, which we have opened today, this is the program at home. We provide accommodation and houses for the veterans of this first and second group of disabilities as a result of war. We have processed more than 5,000 requests, and we hope that we will be able to support more those almost 2,000 defenders who will come back from the captivity. And before giving floor to the director of the project, let's see another video.
Привіт, світе. Мене звати Азовсталь. Я металургійний комбінат у Маріуполі на березі Азовського моря у гирлі річки Кальміус. Був монополістом в Україні щодо випуску деяких видів металопрокату. Практично знищений в ході вторгнення Росії в Україну у 22-му році. Я народився 90 років тому. За віком вважаюся дитиною війни. 12 серпня 1933 року о 6 годині 19 хвилині одна з моїх доменних печей видала перший чавун. Моє серце почало битися. Ті, хто мене створили, знали, що людство не перестане воювати, і тому побудували піді мною ціле бункерне місто. З березня по травень під моїм дахом ховалася величезна кількість людей. Стільки не ховалося ніколи. Та коли це зло намагалось мене знищити, я бачив інше. Я бачив добро. Істинне добро. Стільки віри, мужності, гідності, стійкості. Коли всі мої люди прийшли до мене під мій захист, вони єднались проти зла, вони протистояли йому своїм світлом, своєю незламністю. Вони ховалися піді мною, і я чув їхні крики і шепіт, чув їхній плач і навіть сміх. Я чув їхні останні слова та останній подих тих, чиї душі вилітають, і намагався спрямувати їх через свої трупи до неба. Кажуть, сталь не плаче. Так, в моєму імені два величних слова – Азов і сталь. Так, я завод з величезними доменними печами, в яких згорають будь-які емоції. Так, я щось неживе. Завод-фортеця, титан на березі Азовського моря. Але спостерігаючи за тим, що відбувалося під моїм дахом, я плакав голосами людей. Я впевнений, що настане відродження. Настане, коли зло буде переможене добром. Моєю Україною, моїми людьми. Але коли?
Valeria Demchenko, director of the Azovstal Voices project. Good afternoon. Dear friends, the performance Azovstal Voices is an immersive multimedia performance. And really, as Mr. Korolev has already said, this performance is for the people to feel it and to live through it. In this performance, we speak with the voices of those who cannot speak for themselves. You know, the culture is our soft weapon. We understand that the war has been there for almost 2 years, the active phase of the war. But we also understand that the war did not start in 2014. It started before 2014. It started when the enemy occupied territories of the free people, saying that these territories are of the enemy. And now Ukraine stands against the darkness, racists, with its life in its heart. And this struggle has been for many years and centuries. And now we want to speak with our hearts to the hearts of people all over the world, with the language of art, with the language that does not need interpretation. In our performance, we speak with the voices of hundreds of people who defended Mariupol and Azovstal. But in these hundreds of voices are the voices of Ukrainian mothers, Ukrainian girls, with all our defenders, doctors, and civilians who do everything possible for our victory. And they're the voices of those who have gone to eternity in the struggle for our freedom. We have 9 monologues in our performance. Every monologue has its own image, its own symbol. In our performance, we have the images of real people. Katerina Ptashka, Katerina the bird, Dmitra Kozatsky, Orest, who was the eyes of the Azovstal. They are also this accumulated image of all commanders and defenders of our heroes, of our knights. And I believe that the defense of the Azovstal is the contemporary epos, these 300 Spartanians. And our story is more powerful and more painful. And the hero of everyone who defends Ukraine is very painful and important. And we should realize, we cannot but realize that. That's why we want to talk with the world. And that's why we call for, we address everyone to whom the war is not over. We just want to address everyone who are ready to do everything for our victory, who continues struggle. You know, I think that those who do not fight can't say the war and being tired in one sentence. We should do everything possible in every place. We cannot say the word fatigue. More than a year ago, we, the artists of Ukraine, got together without any financial external support, using our own possibilities and with our hearts created the project. We never thought back then that it would be useful. We just felt that we had to do it, that we had to tell the stories, that the world should see and hear it. I want to believe that we manage to get to every heart and every viewer of our project. And I would like to thank my team, our team. This is the author of texts, of monologues, of our performance, Hachitor Vasalan, who is a Ukrainian director from Mariupol. And his family was in Mariupol, was at Azovstal during the defense of the Azovstal. Marina Sabatyuk, who is the engine of this project. Olga Sapko, who is a producer and an actress at this project, who make an enormous effort to keep our team together. These are our cool, talented, and open-hearted actors. When you see our performance, you will not believe that this is a stage, that this is a theater, because it's truth. Every word they say, the actors say from the stage, is the word that they live through, and that is based on hundreds or thousands true stories. And now I want to show this to you with the help of the monologue of a human in our performance.
Доброго вечора, світе. Я з України. Мене звати Людина. Друзі та рід називають мене Сергій. Я з 3 класу гімназії номер 2. Мій тато, моя мама, моя сестра і наш пес Борька живемо в Азовсталі. Живемо тут вже 1,5 місяці. Раніше ми жили в Маріуполі, але тепер наш дім – це 4-й цех металургійного заводу Азовсталі. Мій тато разом з іншими татами захищає наш будинок від довбаних рашистів. У нас квітень, на відміну від усього світу. У вас же ні, ви тут і далі. Багатьох із вас пляжний сезон саме розпаль, але у нас ні. У нас квітень, а наша море – це пилюка і сажа. Багато хто з наших пішли і потрапили в полон. І хоча здається, що на заводі нікого немає, тут є ще ми. Чому ми не пішли зрештою? Ми не можемо. Ми мертві. Я говорю від лиця мертвих. Я їх голос. І я говорю від лиця тих, хто вже ніколи не піде звідси. Ми поховані під завалами залізного міста. Ми новий цвинтар. Більше за нас тільки старий Крим та місто Маріуполь. Ті, хто нас бомблять, кажуть, що тут ніколи не було людей. Що всі, хто тут ховається, хто боронить це місце, всі нацисти та діти нацистів. Ми об'єкти, мішені, нелюди, біси, вбивці, вороги, тварини, азовстальці, маріупольці, будь-хто, але не люди. У їхньому розумінні люди не борються за свій будинок. У їхньому розумінні люди не дають відсіч тим, хто прийшов їх вбивати. Вони думають, людина – це той, хто не має освіти, хто краде побутові речі, хто розмовляє матом через слова, хто гвалтує беззахисних людей, хто вбиває тварин просто тому, що це весело, хто запускає ракети по драмтеатру чи пологовому будинку, хто регоче як хворий, коли стріляє старенького дідуся на пляжі. Вони називають людиною їхнього президента, який вбив 1000 людей, а мільйони вигнав зі своїх будинків. Того покидька, через якого я, мій тато, моя мама, моя сестра і наша собака Борька залишилися тут назавжди. Вони називають себе людьми, а ми не люди. Чому? Тому що любимо свою землю, Хочемо не красти, а працювати. Хочемо жити вільно. Хочемо ходити до школи, а потім вступати до університетів. Вони думають, ми не люди, тому що вільні. Але я хочу, щоб ви знали, люди тут саме ми. А вони нехай вигадують собі іншу назву і не плутають нас із собою. Ми різні, тому і ім'я таке – людина. Як говорив мій батько, людина – найблагородніше ім'я у світі. В тому житті я намагався це ім'я заложити, але не встиг. Зараз я стою біля свого цеху і дивлюсь через дірки на місто, якого вже немає. Доброго вечора, світе. Я з України. Міста немає, але ви все одно приїжджайте після перемоги. Ми маємо море. Море лишилося.
As you understand, in our performance, you will hear the voice of a person, of a mother, of a light, of a song, of those who save people. They are also voices of love and freedom, because they cannot exist without each other. It is just non-existent, especially for us, for Ukrainians, for people who love their homeland, for people who never give up. In our performance, we say, do what you can, where you are, with what you have, because if not you, then who? That's why we know that such projects as our project are needed a lot, because it is very difficult to see those terrible images of war, of death, that in the social media, on TV, and from other information sources. But the language of art, which does not need translation, when we can speak with our hearts to hearts of others, help us to reflect upon what is happening with us now. All of us now here in Ukraine are under constant bombardment because all the time the enemy keeps attacking our cities, and the Odesa is attacked a lot. And I know that it is difficult to live under such conditions. It is very difficult to create something under such conditions. And I know that Odesa, as any other Ukrainian city, will never give up. And that's why I'm greatly honored and I'm happy that the Azovstal Voices project continues its voyage around Ukraine as well. This project was created for foreign audience, and the same was the perception of our team, that this project is more needed there. People that do not fully understand what is happening here in Ukraine. We need to use this soft cultural weapon to make them understand. But after the performance in Kyiv and then in Lviv, where 99% of viewers were from Mariupol, please believe me, back then we understood that our efforts were not in vain. And after the performance, we never go at once behind the stage to keep that connection with our viewers. Sometimes we hug with them and we support each other, we say some good words to each other. Sometimes we cry. And sometimes it takes even longer than the performance itself, because this performance helps us to live through those historical times that we are witnessing right now. and to live through them with dignity. It is important to realize what is happening now. It is important to realize the importance of Ukraine's struggle for the world. I believe that all of us can become voices of all the Ukrainians who are now prisoners of war, those who cannot speak for themselves. And all of us can act to make our victory closer. But of course, we are enormously thankful to those who give their lives, health, their strength, and defend our freedom at the front line, defend our opportunities and possibilities to do something important here at the home front. That's why I would like to commemorate our fallen heroes. We would like to continuously support the armed forces of Ukraine. And of course, we believe and we're sure and do everything possible to return all prisoners of war back home. That's why we created our project for the world not to forget about our prisoners. And we are very thankful to the representatives of Prymorskyi administration. We are very thankful to the NGO Hearts of Azovstal supporting our project. And we will happy to see all Odesa residents on the 16th of November at Ukrainian theater at our performance, Azovstal Voices. And now I would like to show one more video that is made of the photos of our performance in Ukraine and abroad. And there is the final song for our project, and who is created by the actor of our performance, the lead singer of the project Broken Windows. This is his own song, Let It Burn, and I believe that our rage will burn and will destroy all our enemies with Ukraine in heart. And I would like to remind that the only performance of Azovstal Voices will be on the 16th November in Odesa at Ukrainian Theater. And I would also like to add that all of you can ask your questions online to the speakers of our briefing. Just scan the QR code that you can see on the screen. And I have some questions, but first I would like to give floor to my colleagues from the floor. Mikhailo. Yes, I have a question. And you're right when you say about the modern epoch, which is Azovstal and the people who defended Mariupol. And how it was perceived in Europe, this idea of the modern epoch, because 300 Spartans is a good example that it was 2,500 years ago. Can you tell about that? And then we will get to the questions of journalists. Yes, thank you, Mikhail. You know, we were really impressed when we showed the performers in Europe. That was in Spain and Bilbao. And Bilbao is in the and in the country of Basques. This is the autonomous in the middle of Spain. And the Bilbao is this just a twin of Mariupol. This is an industrial metallurgical city on the coast of the sea. And this Spanish people, those people, they were there at the performance. And we had subtitles in Spanish, but at some moment we saw the response of the audience because the people stopped reading subtitles in their language, and they understood perfectly well what we wanted to tell them. Yes, of course, we have the subtitles in the language of the country where we have our performance. But after the performance in Spain, they waited for us for an hour and a half just to talk to us, and they told us that they understood us, and on the other hand, we are told that the Europe was tired of the war. And they told us that someone told them that Ukraine did not need their help anymore. That's why we need to fight with propaganda, because Russia propaganda is everywhere. It is in Europe because they tell different stories to us and to Europeans. And when you communicate with your head to the head of other people, you understand that everything is not in vain. They do not only understand us, they not only watch, they understand us. And this is an enormous support. But the best performance was in Geneva. That was a specialized performance for the representatives of the missions and the UN ambassadors. There were 17 ambassadors in the hall, and perhaps this is a coincidence. And perhaps our diplomats did everything to start the exchange, but luckily, after that performance in Geneva, that was the first exchange of prisoners. After the performance in Spain, that was the second wave. But unfortunately, we don't have enough exchanges. So we understand that this is a very difficult work, and it is very important not to damage the work of our diplomats who work on that exchange. But we want to do everything possible, actually, to accelerate that return. But foreign citizens, they do not only understand our story, but they live through it, and it changes their attitude to Ukraine and to our war in general. And I have one more question to Oleksandra. Quite often we can see different rallies of the relatives of the prisoners of war from the Azovstal. They openly demand the exchange. And I understand there are several organizations that represent the interests of relatives. And do you have any information about exchanges, about the cultural diplomacy supporting at least awareness raising? There are a lot of such organizations, like Women of Steel. There is the Association of Families of those killed at Olenivka. We cooperate with all of them. They have like constant rallies. Advocacy is very important, and we need to use the language of art for that. And we understand that the war is not over, and we understand that there is constant news, but we should also remember about the defendants of Mariupol. As for the exchange, this is the work of coordination headquarters. This is additional pressure of the civil society, but we cannot like share with you some percentage of our contribution. Of course, our work is efficient, but we just cannot go out together saying that we need exchange. But unfortunately, this is not the case. I would like to briefly add a few words to what have been said. When we started cooperating with the Association of Families of the Defenders of the Azovstal, the life of our project changed completely. Back then we understood that our project is efficient. It is efficient because the families of the defenders from Mariupol, from Azovstal felt that they were not on their own. And it is very important for us to support them because it is very difficult just to continue struggle and to believe in the result. At one of the performances in the Zakarpattia, we were approached by a prisoner of war, former prisoner of war, and he told that we showed the truth because he was there. And he thanked us for not giving up. And of course, we want to accelerate the process, but it is very important not to damage. Thank you very much. Thank you for your questions. And we have one more question online from our audience. And this is the question to Marat Korolev. Marat, several days ago, we saw you at different videos when you just reported about the consequences about the result of shelling. This is the question from the NGO, the analyst, Greenleaf. Do you see any correlation between the condition of the houses and the results of shelling? So perhaps your administration should have supported more the historical part of the city. Thank you very much for your question. First of all, I would like to say that everything happening in the Prymorskyi district is being reported because we are representatives of authorities and we work in the city. We do everything possible for the life organism of the city to survive. It's the process of winterization at the moment. Today we had the meeting of the headquarters for all services from our district and especially from the NGO Greenleaf. I would like to remind that Prymorsk district administration is not responsible for the housing in bad emergency condition. Yes, we can just issue a status and then the decision is discussed at the executive committee. But I would like to remind that what we can see now, and sorry for taking your time. And now I don't think it's time to discuss political issues. Today, we have one enemy. And this enemy is visible. From the first day of the full-scale invasion to our country, all of us who are born here and who have their children born here, we have our families here. We have never left the city. We continue our work to make our victory possible. And I would like for us to get this long-awaited victory for all of us and to solve the issue of how to return everyone from the captivity, our defenders. And after that, we can look at the emergency houses and the consequences, and we can deal with other issues because municipal authorities nowadays do and everything to preserve the city for civilians. And after the strike in Sofiyevsk street, and we understand that this is a historical part of our city. There is the National Fine Arts Museum, and the nearby streets that are protected by UNESCO. And I'm proud of the Odessa residents who went into the street right away after the shelling and started helping with the debris, with the repair of windows. And I want to say that all of us, the real patriots who understand that we need to support each other, just to move the way forward in one direction for our victory. As for other issues, like Classic said, that we need first to deal with the enemy, and then we will be able to deal with our family business. Thank you. What about the questions? Yes, I have a question. That was the European tour of the project. And can you just, do you want to show it in the United States or Canada? And we were invited. This is our aspiration, but now it is very difficult to do this because our project is financed by volunteers, and we do everything by ourselves, and we cannot cover expenditures to get to the United States or Canada. And we hope that people there will be able to hear the voices of Azovstal, meaning in the United States and Canada, in the UK. And we want to get to the UK as well, because we understand and feel the support of the United Kingdom. And this country perhaps supports us the most compared to other European countries. So there is such an aspiration, but it is too early to say because we don't have any possibility now. Thank you very much. And is that all? Yes, thank you very much for being with us today. And we all offer you to hear the voices of the Azovstal. The only performance will be in Odessa on the 16th of November at the Ukrainian Theater.